Thank you, listeners, for joining us. Yes, you are in good shape today. We're regrouping after a long holiday weekend. I think we still know how to do this, Jan. Our city manager, Jan Baum, is joining us in advance of this afternoon's regular council meeting. Welcome, Jan. It's great to see you.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me, Lori. And speaking of the holiday, I just want to give a shout out to our Elko Fire Department. So they did an amazing job over the weekend. They had several incidents with fireworks, I'm sure, and different fires around our city, and also a couple of vehicle fires this weekend. And so anyway, they do a great job. They have amazing training and a great leader. And so I just wanted to say thank you to the entire Elko Fire Department.
Oh, Jan, that's wonderful. And because they did such a great job, we didn't have to report on any big incidents or fires. As you said, they just got right on the spot and brought things under control quickly. So that's always good news.
They absolutely did. I think you're right. That's what their intention is take care of business right away. And then there is not a lot of news to go on. So that's great.
So the council will meet in regular session at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and there are some really cool things on the agenda today that we'll get right to. We want to do some updates too on 12th Street Bridge repair, which is underway, and the RDA project downtown. We'll also get to that, Jan, right off the top of the agenda, approving some of these descriptions for some positions as a result of the classification and compensation study, which if I understood correctly, sitting through budget presentations, and it sounds as though we may have fewer employees, but the employees that are doing the work have more responsibilities, and so therefore may be compensated differently, but it may overall be saving the city money. Did I understand that correctly?
I believe so. So especially I believe that these, yes, so this is the facility maintenance superintendent, fleet maintenance superintendent, landfill superintendent, and street superintendent. But you're correct. So there were a couple, I believe it was the landfill and the street superintendent that we did bump a grade. And you're right, they have a little more responsibilities, and they have little businesses as far as I'm concerned. And so with that, to offset it for the budget, ever since Dennis Strickland retired, we have not filled that public works director position. And so the money savings that we have received from that, and we haven't gotten rid of the position per se, so we could fill it at a future time if we wanted to, but we did not budget for it at all this year. And so we did have money to increase the pay for these two superintendents.
And I think it's important to note to the benefit of the taxpayer, Jan, that these folks in these positions, they are not just behind the desk. I mean, they actually get out into the field and they're doing the work. And as you mentioned, the landfill itself is an enterprise fund. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of incentive there.
Absolutely. So you're right. Both of them, Shane Fertig and Paul Algerio, they do a great job. They've been with the city, I can't tell you exactly how many years, but they both have been with us for several years. And they're both very professional, have great customer service, and they run a good ship. And so, but you're right, they're also out in the field and with the guys, and they know what's going on in the operations side, but then they're also responsible for whether it be engineering or environmental or contracts. There are a lot of managerial tasks that they do as well. So. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jan. Jan Baum is our city manager. We're just looking over some of the top items when the city council meets in regular session, 4 o'clock. This is under the consent agenda. There'll be a couple of presentations, one bittersweet, certainly. First of all, though, accolades to an Elko High School athlete.
Yes, so this is Octavian Cardova, and so this was brought to our attention, a couple weeks ago. But anyway, Octavian was asked to go to the Nike Outdoor Nationals at the University of Oregon. And he actually did pretty well as well. And so, yes, it draws over about 5,000 athletes. And I have the proclamation here so I can remember everything. But I believe he got 5th place out of 80-some people in his division. And it even was not... It was a race. It was the 400-meter hurdles, which at the high school, he does the 300-meter hurdles. So it was even a race that he has not ran competitively before. And he just did a great job. And plus, he has also earned state title for 2 years in a row with Elko High School track and field. So anyway, this was something not many athletes are asked to do, to go to Nike Nationals, and there are athletes from all over the world there, and I'm sure it was just really a great experience for him, and we just want to recognize him.
Well, that is fantastic. Definitely one to watch, and someone that we'll look forward to seeing where he lands, and so we can watch him on TV. I'm sure he'll be a national athlete, whatever he does. That's
great. You never
great.
know, right? And he'll be a senior this coming year.
Okay, so we get him at least one more year. So congratulations, Octavian Cordova, on your achievement. You'll be recognized by the council right at the top of the agenda today. And then we're going to say farewell to our City Police Chief, Ty Trouten. He's been with the city for 26 years and the last 6 years serving as Chief of Police.
Absolutely. And like you said, bittersweet, right? So we're turning another page with the city of Elko, and yes, so we've been happy to have Chief Trouten and his dedication to the city of Elko for the last 26 years. But at the same time, we're excited to welcome in the new police chief, Dr. Kyle Ward. And I'm not going to call him Chief Ward yet because he won't be a chief until Friday.
That's right. He will be considered, likely appointed. He's accepted the formal job offer. He actually started on Monday, but as you said, he'll officially take over the reins on Friday, July 11th, and that's when Chief Trouten will hand over the keys, I guess.
Absolutely. So I think that I have full trust that Kyle will be a great replacement for Chief Trouten and take us forward, take the department forward.
We're talking with our city manager. Jan Baum is in on the radio in advance of the council's regular meeting at 4 o'clock. Also on the agenda today, as we talked about, there'll be swearing in the incoming police chief. And then looking over, there's another consideration, a description for an assistant street department superintendent. Again, just this position was already approved as in the new budget that's already gone out.
Absolutely, yes. So this is actually a new position. So the street department is going to take over a lot of the street repairs for the water department. The water department usually, in the past, has outsourced those repairs. And after some discussion between the departments and Dale Johnson and Paul Algerio, and of course the management group, we came to the conclusion that the streets are probably best repaired by the street department. And so the water department will actually pay the street department for performing these duties. And so we'll see how that goes. But with that came a new position because they will have a lot more repairs.
Well, Jan, thanks. We'll keep an eye on that. As you said, a new position, a new arrangement, and it sounds like it could be a great deal for the city. And it is nice to have departments that communicate the way that these departments do.
Absolutely. And, I say this all the time. We have a great team at the City of Elko, and we all work together really, really well. And so this is a great example of different departments sitting down and saying, how can we service the city residents better? And so this is a result of that.
All right. Thanks, Jan. The next could be a closed session, and this is typical. This is going into labor negotiations between the city and the Police Officers Protective Association.
Yes, so this happens every 2 to 3 years, sometimes 4, but we go into negotiations with the different unions. And so we've been visiting with the patrol unit, since maybe March. And so we like to update council periodically on that because ultimately they're the ones that approve the contract. And so yes, this will be a closed session because it is a confidential process, but we want to take all of the open articles to the council and get them up to date.
And then next, under appropriation, we're moving along the agenda. There's consideration of paving a portion of the that says paying. I think that was my eyes. It is paying
yes.
the second portion of the grant to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Elko for the Recreation Center. Now, it's significant because when all of this was timed out a year or so ago, it was totaling the $1.8 million grant to Boys and Girls Clubs. They had a construction schedule. They need more time. So they've already told the council the facility will likely be finished 1st of January. They plan to open the pool by then. But in the meantime, they've got some bills to pay.
Yes. So with the $1.8 million grant, we have already, or the city of Elko has already paid it the first half of that grant, $900,000, per the resolution that was approved by council. And the second payment was approved to be paid at certificate of occupancy. And so after visiting with the Boys and Girls Club, it was discussed that, of course, the construction is ongoing and the cash is continuing to go out. And so for some cash flow reasons, they are requesting that perhaps we pay all or a portion of that second payment prior to the C of O. And specifically, maybe they could pay it by the end of September or beginning of September. So so council can approve or deny that either way. If they say no, then we'll just stick with the resolution we already have approved. And if they agree to doing a different payment plan, then we will bring an amended resolution to the council at a future date.
All right. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that there'll be a presentation. I'm sure Rusty will explain, talk about the progress. Everybody can see that the walls are going up and it's looking great. So
it's so exciting.
Yes,
I know. I was with a couple people this weekend and they hadn't seen it for quite a while because I think you get on your route going wherever you're going to work or home and maybe don't go down by the park and they were just amazed at how it's changed and it's getting really exciting.
So that will be discussed. Again, it will come back if the city council approves. And again, the way that this agenda item is structured, it could be all or just a portion of the second $900,000 grant payment. So some could be withheld until that certificate of occupancy.
Absolutely.
All right. And then moving on to, there are some repairs, and I know we're going to be talking more, but we've got Hot Springs Road and Water Street repairs. And these are all big projects, Jan, and that seems to be what a lot of people in the community really care about, the condition of roads.
Absolutely, exactly. And you're right, this is a very busy season for the road department and our capital construction and contractors. And so you're right, we're working on the Hot Springs Road repair project, and then the Water Street repair project is finished, and that was created from the derailment from Union Pacific. And so we will be submitting, now that is complete, we'll be submitting a reimbursement request from Union Pacific. And then the topic that's on here that everybody is probably wanting to know a little more about is 12th Street Bridge. And so I received a picture from Dale Johnson, I think last night at about 7:30 or 8, telling me that project was underway, and I got a picture of it moving, and they really moved along last night. And so how that construction on 12th Street Bridge will flow, because I know it's very important to a lot of residents, is that will be a nighttime project. They will be working on that project, I believe, from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., and that already started last night. And so during the day, it'll be two-way traffic and with flaggers, and then at night it will be one lane traffic, and for obvious reasons that during the day the traffic is a lot heavier. So we're trying to minimize the impact to the community as much as we can, but it'll be good to have that bridge in good order and good engineering. So.
And Jen, I think it's a source of pride for a community that we can actually afford these projects. We can budget for them. We have resources. And I don't think that that we have to apologize because people are aware there is only one season for construction, and it happens to come during the summer months when we're maybe enjoying recreation or leisure or tourism is up. But it's a necessity, and we should be grateful that we can have this kind of repair.
Absolutely, yes, and it'll just make that 12th Street Bridge, last that much longer, and it is a very important piece of infrastructure in our community. So, and then the second large construction project that we have going, and speaking of having the funds and being able to do this project, it's the RDA downtown sidewalk project. And currently it's between 4th and 5th on Railroad. And they have all the sidewalks completely demolished, or demolition is finished on the sidewalks. And they've hit some hiccups, and there's been some snags. But we knew there would be. This is a complicated project. It's a very complicated project. The contractors are doing a good job. I believe if you've been down there, there is still parking in the corridors. You just have to go in and out on commercial rather than, in on commercial and out on Railroad, or vice versa. And they have it very well. They have great signage, and I think they're doing a good job. And so we're working through it and trying to keep the vendors very informed as we go along. And please remember to continue to use those businesses where the construction is going. You can get in. There are pathways to get in. It looks a little different, has a little different look right now, but we're excited, and the end product will definitely be worth it.
In fact, I visited one of the businesses, Glennon and Sandoval. I had absolutely no trouble, Jan. The crews were all considerate. As you said, it's well marked. You just park in the corridor like you normally would, and you just get out and pay attention. There's some cones. There's some, it's not. Mm-hmm. And there was a path to get right to the door of the business.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yes. Yeah. And I have driven by a few times, and it looks like the paths are there. I know they're going to change daily. The construction is changing every day. But anyway, we're doing we're just really trying to minimize the impact to the businesses.
All right. So thanks for the update. Continuing, this first phase is supposed to last about 30 days, and I imagine that there's at least another week or two, if not more, because of these unanticipated finds or discoveries that you've made beneath the sidewalks. So how exciting.
Absolutely. It's uncovering some of history.
Yes, yes. Good and bad, I guess. There's also on the agenda today talking about a change order for 12th Street Bridge. And this is interesting because there is the cost of the change order is quite significant, but it does cover flagging that's required for 64 days.
Absolutely. So a portion of 12th Street Bridge, it actually is two bridges. And so the project includes repairing doing maintenance on two bridges. And one of them is over the UP Union Pacific right-of-way. And so when you do construction or projects around Union Pacific right-of-way, they require flagging, and they provide the flagging. And so...
but we have to pay for it.
But yeah, we pay for
it.
So yeah, yes. Absolutely. And that's what this $117,600 is. This is the flagging for them to provide while we repair the bridge.
All right. So just take note if you see that on the agenda. It is a big item again, but it's required. Mm-hmm. And the city you were able to sign off on this just to keep this project going because we don't want to get behind.
Absolutely. So we've had this project scheduled for quite some time, a few months probably, and we didn't want to hold the project up or the contractor. And we knew this was going to come to us. We just didn't know how much it would be.
Talking with our city manager, Jan Baum. The city council meets in regular session at 4 o'clock today at City Hall. You can be there in person or follow along online at elkocity.com. I know in talking to James Wiley, our Parks and Rec director, he's pretty excited about the park rehab project, which includes some improvements to existing courts and then some additional courts too.
Absolutely. This is an exciting project. It's a very large project. It includes resurfacing different courts, both across from City Hall and then down by Southside Park, across from that park. And so the resurfacing that will go on across from City Hall would be the tennis court and the handball court and the basketball court. And that basketball court, there are kids and people at that court all the time. I see it every time I come out. So anyways, a very highly used court. And then the exciting part for the pickleballers is on the south side, across from Southside Park. Currently, we already have some pickleball courts, but those will also get resurfaced, and some permanent nets will be put in. And then there is a slab of cement kind of right there by the parking lot of Southside Park. And it hasn't been used for quite a while. I think it was originally maybe for roller hockey or something. But anyway, it hasn't been used for quite a while. And so they are going to use that large area to put in, I believe it's 5 more pickleball courts. And they'll be permanent pickleball courts as well. So currently the pickleball courts we have are a little temporary, and I believe you either have to bring your own net or rent a net, or or the city might have them, but you have to know how to get them. But anyway, these will all have permanent nets, and I think that it takes time, but hopefully we'll get there soon. So we're hoping we can start this project in September. By the time we get through the bidding process, the engineering is already done. James Wiley got that done in the last fiscal year. He was actually very proactive on that. And so we're excited to see how the bids come in.
That will be on the agenda, and you can pull up the agenda right now. That will be discussed during City Council. Those design plans are attached to the agenda, Jan, so you can go to elkocity.com and then click on the highlighted blue sections of this agenda item, and you'll be able to see those plans. They're really cool.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You're right. It's all right there, so take a look at them. It's exciting, and I know that it isn't moving quite as fast as we all would like, but it will get going, and we're hoping to start this in September.
And I think overall, isn't it a near $2 million project to do all those courts, and the money's been set aside?
I believe it's a little over one. Yeah, I thought it was over 1
Maybe
million.
it's 1.2. That's probably.
I think it's 1.2.
Closer to. Let's not drive up the cost of the project before they even get started. So
that's right.
Yeah. So 1.2, and again, exciting. It's pickleball courts. It's redoing that basketball court and the handball court as well, which is also we saw that in action over the weekend with the National Basque Festival. So.
Absolutely, it was fun to see how busy the town was this weekend.
So, Jan, we're also looking at, I just wanted to do a quick plug for James. There are a couple of vacancies, if not more, on the City of Elko Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. It's a volunteer position. It's easy to nominate yourself. You just write a little sentence or two about why you're interested. You would be appointed by the council, and the more applicants, the better.
Absolutely.
And then under new business, there'll be, this is also something that's really nice. It looks as though the owner of Opal Street is going to dedicate that street to the city so that will provide access for the Community Ponds project.
Yes, exactly. That's an exciting project as well that is moving along. And actually, the first 2 line items on new business relate to the Endow fishing pond. And so that project is going to start getting underway. First of all, you're right. We are getting dedicated the street on Opal Street, which is great because that'll be access for the public to get to the ponds. And then the second item there is, so Endow is partnering, of course, with us on this. And so they have a grant. And so we're going to submit for that grant. And then that will begin the design for the fishing ponds. So anyway, it's an exciting process. I think that this will be so beneficial to so many people in our community.
It will really complement. We don't have a park like it. I mean, we have the Peace Park, and once in a while there's some running water through it, but we don't have, it's a more natural, well, I guess the Peace Park isn't that natural. They still have to mow, but this will be more of a natural park, and it is in cooperation with Endow. I know Julie Gabrielson is just so excited because she'll literally have an outdoor classroom where they can take school trips.
Absolutely. How wonderful, right? Here,
Yes.
right? And I think there are probably people out there that really would either like to go fishing or learn to fish or, get those kinds of experiences without driving an hour, and some people just can't. And so I think this will be a great opportunity.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, where is it going to be? Well, it's off that 12th Street Bridge, known as the Sharps Access, right on the one side. But then Opal Street will provide a connector so that kids can safely ride their bikes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's part of
It'll
our
be great.
extension of the HARP project. So much, much more to come on this project in particular. We'll be talking all about it on this radio show. It's really exciting, Jan. And then also, the city of Elko was awarded the SCADS Deep grant, I think is how you say that, the Small Community Air Service Development Grant. And that means we can continue our SkyWest flights to and from.
Yes, absolutely. So this agenda item is specific to the midday flight. So the midday flight, so currently the MRG, Minimum Revenue Guarantee contract with SkyWest for the return overnight flight is with the Flight Alliance of Northeastern Nevada, FAN. But the SCASD grant was awarded to the city of Elko. And so this is a separate MRG agreement with SkyWest specifically for the midday flight. And so that flight is 4 days a week, obviously coming in the midday. I believe it comes around 11:15 and leaves around noon. And it's on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday.
And this flight could use some more travel and traffic, but it's getting there. Talking to Jim Foster, it's a very important piece of our local air service, regional air service. It props up more business travel so you can get to and from someplace in one day if you need to.
Absolutely. And it's a great complement to the return overnight flight. And you're right. So, and also, there were times when we just have the return overnight flight that people may miss their flight or, something like that. And so having that noon flight is, again, it complements the return overnight flight. And, I can't stress it enough. Just fly Elko. It really does help us. But if you analyze your flights and the cost and what it costs and the inconvenience for driving to Salt Lake or Reno or Boise or Vegas and the hotel and the parking and, it really is, sometimes it really does pencil out to fly out of Elko. And so always, when you're looking for flights, just always give it a try.
FlyElko.com, the SkyWest connection. It's really easy to at least start looking, especially if you're planning some summer travel. It can be a big money saver. And
absolutely.
And I know the cost of this to keep, we're subsidizing as a city, but through the Flight Alliance of Northeastern Nevada, we do have support. Elko County is helping pitch in. Lander County, I believe, is as well.
Absolutely.
And there'll be other opportunities to enhance this fund because otherwise we were at serious risk of losing commercial air service.
Absolutely. And it's difficult to quantify what you lose if you lose commercial air service, but the commercial, the economic development, just talking to some of our healthcare professionals, they fly doctors in all the time, and if we didn't have the flight, they wouldn't fly them in because they're not going to drive here. It costs them too much money and lost revenue for them to drive all that way. And so and then there are several businesses, mining support services, education. There's just so many different reasons that we need commercial air service into our community. And so, I can't, I'm kind of passionate about it. So it's just such a great asset for our community, and it helps us get places. We're pretty remote If you hadn't noticed. And so, and people say we're in the middle of nowhere, but we're in the middle of everywhere. So you can use Elko Regional Airport to get there.
Yes, we have so much to offer, and I'm sure that when the results of our strategic planning get back, I think that'll be another source of pride for people to realize we have newcomers here. We have people who've lived here, their entire lives or for generations, and I think some really good ideas are being generated. But you're right, Jan. The more people can fly Elko, fly in and out of the Elko Regional Airport on the SkyWest regional flight, that will offset the liability of the $680,700. Now, the city is committed to that, but again, we've been awarded a grant because of our diligence and our commitment, the condition of our airport, the professional staff that we have, the people that are really dedicated to making sure that we have regional air service. And we're going to work on the other pieces. I had the benefit of speaking with our local assemblyman, Bert Gurr, and he is very committed to bringing this back. And he actually made some progress in this last session, so he's feeling good about the prospects.
He absolutely did, and we just can't thank Bert Gurr enough for his assistance and his guidance and information and communication during the legislative session. He was great about that, and I missed the biggest point with the MRG is you're right. If the more people we put on the plane, the less we pay for the minimum revenue guarantee. And if we can accumulate funds, then we can add to the flights. So that would be great.
All right. So more to look forward to. As always, we'll send you off to the meeting, Jan, again at 4 o'clock today. If you'd like to be there to help wish our retiring police chief, Ty Trouten, a fond farewell, I'm sure he would appreciate it. If not, cheer him on online. I believe Friday is his last day formally at the City Police Department. But then you'll also have a chance to meet incoming Chief Kyle Ward. And I understand he likes to be called Kyle, but we may end up calling him Chief Ward. I don't know. I would call Ty sometimes, or Chief Trouten, whatever the situation called for. But
absolutely. Depends on the conversation you're having, for sure.
Jan, thank you for your leadership and all the things that you're paying attention to. We always have a lot to discuss, especially in advance of a meeting. But there'll be more stuff. I mean, the stuff that the Shiloh Inn, Shiloh Inn, I think, is caught up in their.
They're pretty caught up.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a hotel that was behind in their water and property taxes, that kind of thing. The one I was thinking of was Elko Inn. That's an ongoing process too. So
it absolutely is, and the RDA voted not too long ago for the RDA to go to the county commission and request to purchase the Elko Inn for the amount of taxes due. And so that will be moving along as well.
All right. More to come on that, and we'll keep you posted at a future date. Jan Baum is our Elko City Manager, and she'll be on hand for today's council meeting that opens at 4 o'clock. And thank you, listeners, for joining us. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you.